Hi everyone, it's Shermy here, and I'm here today with a very special episode of Couch Surfing with the Surfrajettes. So I've been sitting on something for a while now, and it's that I have teamed up with my very favorite pedal company, which is Solid Gold Effects in Montreal, Quebec, and they have given me my very own signature model of the Surf Rider IV Reverb pedal. So I couldn't be more excited to have my name on something. I've been in love with Solid Gold Effects reverb pedals for a very long time. If you've been following along with the band, you've probably heard me talk about them before, but the Surf Rider IV is absolutely amazing. It's the closest thing to an analog reverb tank that I have personally heard, and it has features that allow you to achieve that classic drip sound, which a lot of pedals cannot do. So yeah, I'm going to talk about some of my favorite features on the pedal, and I'm going to start with the tank switch. So the tank switch has 3 different settings, so a left, center, and right. So the left setting is emulating like a smaller reverb tank. The center is emulating like a classic Fender Pro Reverb or a reverb tank, or a classic Fender amp. And the right side is what they call fantasy reverb, and that's the one that I personally like the best, and it's like an exaggerated version of a classic reverb tank, and I love it to achieve my tone, which I always try to have like a dreamy edge on it. I love the high-end tones this pedal is able to achieve. I love how it lends to that dreamy aspect I'm always trying to get, and it doesn't have like shrill or sharp sounding tones on the high end. So I really love those extra functions that allow me to get that unique version of a classic tone. I love the drip, the classic sound of the tank, but I do love to have something a little more unique, which is what I call like a dreamy layer on top. You'll also see that it has a dwell knob, which is just like a reverb tank, and you can adjust the amount of drip that you have, and that's like my favorite part of the pedal because it does all the classic things a reverb pedal would do, but it does have that special part, which is, yes, just emulating any kind of tank you could really think of. Something else that's really cool is the flutter switch. So the foot switch has a secondary function which enables a flutter sound, and for my tone I do set the flutter very little. I like putting it's like a little warble. Again, it's not entirely noticeable on mine if at first listen, but it's just subtle enough that it gives it this very subtle warble, and I love this feature. It just adds like a really unique texture to your tone. And so I'm going to do a little demo now. I'm going to show you how I use this pedal and what my tone sounds like, and yeah, hope you enjoy. So that's how the Surf Rider IV pedal sounds. Now as for how it looks, the design was done by, well, our band logo is done by Friend Prices, and the pedal design was done by Courtney Reader, and the finish is called Mermaid Tail Sparkle, and it looks absolutely gorgeous in the light, and it's super sparkly, and I'm super excited to have this pedal on my board. It is gorgeous. Something else that's really important for me is it's very compact. It fits on my pedal board. It's a very small footprint. I can't believe they've taken a huge reverb tank and all of those functions and put them in this tiny little magic metal box. I can't say I'm an expert on the technology of pedals, but I know that I'm absolutely amazed by what they're able to do now. And I think this is a very great example of a very impressive piece of technology. And as much as I love vintage and I have all vintage furniture in my house and I love analog, I think realistically for me at this point, a major feature for me is size and how well it's going to travel and its dependability and if I can rely on it. So the fact that I can put this on my pedal board and it fits in my carry-on suitcase to go on an airplane, that's a pretty big selling feature for me. I mean, I get some weird stares when my suitcase goes through the conveyor belt at the airport security, and they usually make me take my pedal board out, but at least it looks beautiful. So yes, I hope you enjoy. I know I certainly love this pedal. You can head to the Solid Gold Effects website, which I will have a link below, and you can purchase the pedal if you're interested. I hope you love it as much as I do, and if you're a fan of surf, if you're just play any other kind of music, rock, folk, anything, this pedal, of course I'm using it in a very surfy way, but it also can be used in a completely classic, no bells and whistles, just general reverb sense. You can turn all of that stuff off and just get a really subtle reverb sound as well. You're seeing me using it in a more extreme way for a surf band, but I will say I loyally stand behind this company as I've been using their products for years and years and years now, and I really don't think you would be disappointed. So thanks for tuning in, and we have some other fun stuff coming up, and I hope to soon do a video on my new Creston Creature from Creston Electric, so stay tuned for that coming up. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.